Okay, so let's look at Tether. So as you know, I always follow Tether. The last time we had a bit of a consolidation in Tether, it was down here, and I said it would go up, and it did. And we've got another sort of breather, and everything is really bullish right now for crypto. I know a lot of people are still bearish somewhat, but we've got like so many positive developments coming in, and I think the starting gun is this chart. So when this chart finally pops to the upside, that's when everything will start moving up a bit. If we look at the Tether market cap here, hey, literally overnight, boom. So it gapped up overnight. I went to bed at 3:30 in the morning, and it didn't look like this at 3:30 in the morning. So for me, overnight or over morning, it's gapped up, which is nice. Once it starts really moving north, then you know it's gonna do something like that. So that's very bullish. Okay, I know we've got some price pulling back at the moment, but just I wouldn't worry about that. Gas, I've reinstated that long, so that gas long, I think it's slightly underwater at the moment from entry, but I wouldn't worry too much. That's more of a long-term swing. So that's getting there. Now Bitcoin has been fanning around this sort of no man's land area for a bit, and what we said, or what I said earlier, is that what it needs is to blast sharply to at least 68k and then not relinquish the 66k support. Then we're looking at all-time highs not long after. And then later on, it did punch to 868. It then pulled back to 66. So yeah, it just needs to stick the landing. And if we look at Bitcoin now, it's trying its hardest to stick that landing. As long as it doesn't give up that 66k level, we're seeing all-time highs pretty soon, folks. So I would not at all be surprised if it sort of fannied around a bit between 66 and 68, and then we're going to be starting to move north. And what is it? 73 is our all-time high. Let's just zoom out a bit. Yeah, 73 something, 74. We're not far away, folks, because if this is the breakout of this falling channel, this is pretty mega. Typically speaking, from a TA perspective, if you look at so the breakout from the previous thing is here, and rough rule of thumb is sort of this distance should follow through that distance. So obviously rule of thumb 60 to 30 is another 30k from here, so we're looking at 100k basically if that falling channel plays out, and I think it should. So obviously it just needs to consolidate above. If we get back below 66 into this black zone, then I think we could be in for a bit of a flush. So that's that. Also looking at the ETFs, not that one. Look at this, folks. The ETFs are still gobbling up Bitcoin, and this is the amount of Bitcoin that they're gobbling up, not the price of Bitcoin. So the actual Bitcoin being gobbled up by the ETFs is still growing. And even when you look at, Bitcoin's not exactly pumping at the moment. It's not like all-time highs, but even if you look at the price or the dollar value of it all, it's at an all-time high. So ETF Bitcoin holdings that are at all-time high today, in when you look at it from a NAV or total NAV perspective, as in total net asset value perspective. So that's pretty cool. The ETH, not so much. It's still just a bit of a bag of balls, really. What is it? 7.19. So I guess it's not all-time highs for ETH just yet, but I'll come on to the ETH type thing in a sec. So the cycle. I know you hear me talk about cycles, but a bit of context here, folks. So here is the context. And this is all expected. This is all exactly what I said would happen for ages. So this is the last predictable cycle in my opinion. And what we always have is the halving and then plus or minus 2 or 3 months worth of wobble. So that's the halving wobble. There's always volatility around the wobble. Plus, don't forget, the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is coincidentally pancaked on top of the US 4-year election cycle. So we have this election and halving wobble plus or minus 3 months, which is what we're having right now. So we're getting into November. And yeah, look what happened last time. So we got, actually last time we had pumpage into that election cycle, and then around November-ish time, yeah. So actually, historically, it's actually pumped into it. So who knows? I did see a very. I'm gonna have to play it. I just giggled when I saw it because, you know, it's somewhat true at the moment.
Doing okay?
Nope.
So is Kamala doing okay?
Nope. She's down, Joe. I think they found out that she's retarded, and now we're basically fucked. Trump is killing us at the polls, so yes, we're gonna lose Joe.
Damn it. Wait. What if I come back to run again?
As candidate?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. The only person in this world who is even more retarded than Kamala Harris is basically you. So no, Joe,
on, man.
You're
Just
not going
give
back
another
in.
shot.
Let's let it all play out, okay? We'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
Sorry, it just made me giggle. Right. Yeah, so we got this wobbling, but as I said, if you look at Bitcoin on, you know, a nice blank empty chart, pure TA just goes, resistance. Once it breaks that, we're off to the races, and we are smothering this level, as you know. So once we get through this wobble, Bitcoin leaves most things behind. We see that a lot in every cycle, and this is why I focus on the ETH Bitcoin chart. This is why I drew these holes ages ago, because this is exactly what would happen. Obviously the timing hasn't been correct, but actually look at this. You see my little doodles here. If we just shifted these up a bit, it has been pretty bang on. It's just happened January to, you know, probably 5 months, 6 months out of kilter here, but we've entered these holes. So this chart going down shows that Bitcoin goes up in market share. In fact, you can look at it on the Bitcoin dominance chart or the market share chart. And you can see here we had sort of if I get out of there, a rising compression here. Actually, this is a weekly. It looks funny. Yeah, that's erroneous. Yeah, so we are now finally entering this hole, which again I drew God knows how long ago. So we've entered this. So Bitcoin should hit between 60 to 63-ish% of total market share, and then it will pivot. So, and then we're going to see something like this, and it's going to look absolutely brutal. So, yeah, we could just literally move all this across, and it'll be something like that. What was I saying? In hindsight, I should have drawn this hole a bit smaller because it's encompassed 2025 and 2026. Really, if I was to draw that again, I'd be drawing something like this. So it's more towards the tail end of 2026. But either way, once we get in this area here, we should start seeing a pivot. And once ETH starts pivoting north, that, my friends, is the starting gun for the alt rally. And it's during this alt rally where it's just everything will be obscene. Alts absolutely take off, especially AI ones, and any random punter will seem godly on the markets. Like, It's one of it. Once that happens, it's the occasion where blind monkeys throwing darts at a wall will outperform the world's best, conventional fund managers. And that's where, yeah. So, however, everyone has different sort of price taking levels. So obviously I want to start siphoning off a lot of the profits when we get into, peak hysteria, peak craziness, bull market, tail end of next year, etc. But also have little price points where you do solidify your physical life base, if that makes sense. So for me, I've, at around $1,500 Tau, I will be taking off a little bit of profits just to buy, the forever home, yada, 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 mortgage free, start my life insurance plan, which I've explained many times. And that way, you can, if all goes to pot, you've insulated your life on a real basis. Now that price point is different for everyone. So, but I'll be taking a couple of million off the table, at $1,500 Tau at the very least. So, so that is that. It's just waiting. So yeah, it's very bullish, folks. Very, very bullish. Even when you look at Bitcoin against USM2, I mean, we've got the same sort of chart here, and it's breaking out no matter which way you look at it. And I can show you a lot of on-chain metrics which are showing bullishness right now. So, and if we go to total market cap, what do we always see? What have I said? We see a falling compression in a rising market. Normally a good, a year before we hit bull market.
Yeah, that's what it's mean.
So yeah, compression, compression, and in total market cap, look at that. I mean, Jesus Christ. Not only is it a compression and breaking out, we've got a Kobo with a halo, a double halo. It's like that double rainbow meme. Double rainbow, double halo. So yeah, a double compression. Another falling compression that's broken out. So this is really bullish, really bullish. Again, if you look at another sort of level of sort of resistance here, there we go. We've got a nice bottoming out pattern here as well. So we're going to get back to the mean in terms of that curve here for total market cap. And we haven't even hit the bull market yet, and we're almost at all-time highs for total market cap. Like, anyone that's bearish right now, like in general for crypto, I think they're not seeing the wood from the trees. I mean, nothing structural has changed. Hash rate obviously goes up and down, but it's it's still going up. But yeah, so everything is good. The only odd thing I can't quite figure out at the moment is the dollar. So look at this. The dollar is rising, which means everything should be falling. But all the conventional markets are also rising. So it's very rare that you see strong dollar pumpage like this and conventional assets not to sell off. So you would have thought with a move like from here to here, so literally in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that level of move up should have absolutely tanked the markets. But over the same time frame, stocks have also gone up as well. Now, the only thing I can sort of ratify that sort of makes sense is that, as you know, the whole S&P 500 is really dictated by the Mang TM stock. So Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, Nvidia, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, MicroStrategy. But Nvidia is pretty much the market at the moment. So because Nvidia has done, gone from here to here in that same time frame, has basically dragged everything up. It's the same with the other Mang stocks. They've all done pretty well. So that's the only thing I can.
I saw a post about the amount of Chinese capital expansion.
Yep.
Being the cause for the dollar rising, as people are dumping that and getting more into the dollar. Is that a cause?
Yeah.
Is some of that Chinese liquidity getting into other assets and helping support them?
Yeah, Chinese central bank liquidity. The Chinese are, where is it? I saw it the other day. Where is it? No, these are. I saw something that basically the the PBOC is now starting to loosen up the spigots and starting to do liquidity. I'll have to find that. I'm not sure if I telegrammed it out, but yeah. Also, there are rumours at the moment that they're likely to unban Bitcoin. Rumours at the moment, but you know, from a geopolitical point of view, this makes total sense. Like, this is predictable. You know, China's very friendly with Russia. Obviously, Russia's going all in on Bitcoin. They're doing lots of trading in Bitcoin. And so, you know, it's one of their biggest trading partners. So, it doesn't surprise me at all. So we're just going to see that total crypto market cap just continue growing. So that that. What else? Yeah, total liquidity is starting to tick upwards, which is quite good. And again, going back to rational thinking. If we look at USM2, where is it? Let's put it on here. 12 month. No, 1 month. So I was working out the other day, like, what is the average that USM2 grows on a yearly basis, on a 5-yearly basis, on a decadely basis, etc. And the average, I think, came to some like 15-something%, which we all know. I've harped on it for ages. And then I was trying to think, you know, what's USM2 going to look like in 30 years' time? And I think the target I had was 2052 for some reason. I can't quite remember, 2053. And so I worked out, and I was being really pessimistic here, at just a 10% growth rate, which we all know is lower than what it actually is, especially with compounding effects and the way that the US debt market's going. It's going to be way more than 15-20%. But I'm just using 10%. It means that over the next 30 years, USM2 gets around $320 trillion. I just want that to percolate in for a bit. Just really think about this. And this, as you know, is, you know, it's going to accelerate. But let's just say, over the next 30 years, $320 trillion USM2. What do you think the price of Bitcoin does? Like, you know, there is no world I don't see crypto or Bitcoin or Casper, you know, not going up. So for me, crypto is not me being super convicted in Bitcoin or any of these other projects. It's pure rational thinking, because we're seeing what's happening in Argentina, and this will happen to us. It's just, so I always get it the wrong way around. Yes, there we go. We are almost hitting the 1,000 level for Argentina right now, folks. It is. I probably will look at this chart once a week now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Hey ho.